How can she be charged with 4 counts of murder, but only 2 people were killed when it comes to someone being charged? There's many different levels to it. She was charged with 4 counts of murder due to the premeditation and intent. This was not an accident that vehicular manslaughter can be slapped on. She planned the route a week prior, planned the accident to be 1 day before her 18th birthday, and also took the drive at a time in the night where emergency support would be limited. That is how she was able to be charged with 4 counts of murder, yet only 2 innocent people killed. Another case, for example, a girl was charged with 3 counts of murder, yet only 1 person was murdered. She had planned on robbing and killing the old man, which she did. Then he said the other 2 counts come from the following day of the murder. She went back, moved, and hid the body, then stole his car. And although the prosecutor seemed pretty confident about the charges, I believe that she cannot be convicted of 3 counts of murder with 1 body. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, lol.
Initial hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time,
soon, any issues, any discovery problems, anything we need to talk about? In the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo in Newtown, Flanders. No reasonable fact finder could view the totality.
In the early hours of July 31st, 2022, Mackenzie, her boyfriend Dominic, and his friend Davian Flanagan took a fateful car ride ending in Dominic's and Davian's death. She drove the car at 100 miles per hour into a brick building, killing Dominic and Davian. Mackenzie managed to survive this. The teen's chilling TikTok video resurfaced after her conviction, in which she boasts about her feelings of immortality. "I'm not even cool, I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die." She was sentenced to 2 concurrent 15 years to life sentences. She was found guilty on 12 counts, including 4 of murder, 4 of felonious assault, 2 of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 of drug possession, and 1 of possessing criminal tools.
thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the state has provided full disclosure of discovery. I have received an offer from the defense, and my supervisors marked this file. The state's proposed resolution to the case would be for the defendant to plead guilty to counts 3, 4, and 11 as charged. Counts 3 and 4 are both titled murder. They are murder B under 2903.02B. Count 11 is drug possession of felony of the 5th degree under 2925.11A. That's my understanding. The defense is not interested in a plea at this time, and we are set for trial August 7th.
Mr. McDonald?
That's correct, Your Honor. I went on Monday and discussed this at great length with Mackenzie. The week before that, with her parents present, talked with her today, and it's her desire that she does not want to have a plea to 2 counts of murder.
Okay. And Mackenzie, are you satisfied with your lawyer so far? You can say so. Yes, Your Honor. All right. Anything that we have to discuss? This trial's coming up soon. Any issues? Any discovery problems? Anything we need to talk about?
From my position, Your Honor, no. We've turned over everything. I gave Mr. McDonald a few items today, but we'll be ready to go forward on the 7th.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, anything on your end that you need?
No, Your Honor.
Her and her boyfriend fought often, and that Shirilla made violent threats, including once threatening to crash her car with Russo in it, which she ultimately deliberately did to end their relationship. Evidence proved she was on a mission of death that she saw as her way out of their toxic relationship, and that she scouted out the route a week before she killed him and his friend, who was Cargo. Mackenzie also sought employment with a Los Angeles-based modeling agency while she was still in a hospital bed recovering from her injuries, Fox 8 reports. In the months that followed before she was criminally charged, she was reportedly seen attending a concert and a Halloween party.
The Heart of Ice Code Section 2903.11A2 as charged in Count 8. Count 9, aggravated vehicular homicide. The court, having had Count 9 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.06A2A as charged in Count 9. Count 10, aggravated vehicular homicide. The court, having had Count 10 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.06A2A as charged in Count 10. Count 11, drug possession. The court, having had Count 11 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of drug possession in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2925.11A as charged in Count 11. Count 12, possessing criminal tools. The court, having had Count 12 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of possessing criminal tools in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.24A as charged in Count 12. The court, having had Count 12 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of possessing criminal tools and further finds the defendant did intend to use a substance, device, instrument, or article, to wit, a digital scale, to commit the offense of a felony. Sentencing will be 1 week from today, August 21st at 1 p.m. If any party wishes to file a sentencing memorandum, it is to be filed by 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, baby. Everybody drinks this way.
In the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan. No reasonable fact finder could view the totality of this evidence in this case and come to any other conclusion. Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder. Court renders the following verdicts. Count 1. The court, having had Count 1 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as charged in Count 1. Count 2. The court, having had Count 2 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A is charged in Count 2 of the indictment. Count 3, murder. The court, having had Count 3 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B as charged in Count 3. Count 4, murder. The court, having had Count 4 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B as charged in Count 4. Count 5, felonious assault. The court, having had Count 5 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11 of the Revised Code is charged in Count 5 of the indictment. Count 6, felonious assault. The court, having had Count 6 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A2 is charged in Count 6. Count 7, felonious assault. The court, having had Count 7 tried to and pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A1 as charged in count 7. Count 8, felonious assault. The court, having had count 8 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2903.11A2 as charged in count 8. Count 9, aggravated vehicular homicide. The court, having had count 9 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2903.06A2A. Decision-making of the defendant. She morphs from a responsible driver to literal hell on wheels as she makes her way down the street. Mackenzie alone made the decision to drive the car, to drive an obscure route, a route she visited a few days before, and a route not routinely taken by her. Mackenzie alone chose the time to make the drive, early in the morning, when any reasonable person would expect that few people would be nearby to witness it or offer life-saving assistance. She made these decisions despite knowing, as any reasonable person would, that her mission of death could have involved others, not even in the car with her, other people, other cars, pedestrians. She had a mission, and she executed it with precision. The mission was death. Mackenzie alone decided to push the pedal to the floor and demand the ultimate speed of that vehicle to 90 to 100 miles per hour. She alone decided what was to be. Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day, and she alone made that decision for Dominic and Davion, and she continuously acted in a manner to achieve her purpose. Whether or not she intended to also kill herself is a matter of speculation and of no relevance to the weighing of the evidence in this case. The totality of the evidence clearly demonstrates that Mackenzie Shirilla acted purposely and intentionally in the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, and her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan.